A few years back, in the vibrant heart of a bustling South African township, there was a man called Siphiwe Mthembu, a tall and robust Zulu man with deep-set eyes and a voice that commands respect. His skin rich in tone, resembling the earth from which he hails. Siphiwe carried the weight of his family's expectations on his shoulders as he was their sole provider. His wife Kumo, a beautiful Motswana woman who embodies grace with her slender frame and gentle demeanor. Her eyes sparkle with joy, but the struggles of adapting to a new life often mask her radiant smile. She wears a colorful traditional A-line skirt that reflects her heritage and a matching headscarf tied elegantly atop her head, a white t-shirt and a beautiful beaded colorful Zulu necklace that reflects her husband's heritage. Kumo had to stop working when she moved from her hometown to her husband's home after they got married. She did not look for a job in KwaZulu-Natal, as she and her husband decided she doesn't because she fell pregnant just after they tied the knot. Their home is modest but filled with warmth. Family photographs adorn the walls, showcasing their journey from rural KwaZulu-Natal to the township that now hosts them. Exactly 9 months after their marriage, they were blessed with a daughter they called Buhle, which means beauty in Zulu. At 3 years old, she is a bundle of joy, with round cheeks and a playful spirit. Her hair styled in cute little braids adorned with colorful beads that jingle with every step she takes. Kumo always enjoyed styling her daughter's rich hair. The couple's happiness is palpable, yet shadows loom over their new life. The cultural conflict that pushed them to leave their homeland still lingers in their minds, bringing a blend of nostalgia and uncertainty. Sipho's family could not welcome Kumo as a daughter-in-law because she was not Zulu. She was a Motswana who was not even born and raised in a rural area, but in a modern household that did not practice their own Botswana tradition. To add to that, Kumo was a born-again Christian, so she always refused to do certain Zulu rituals. There was a constant conflict between Siphiwe's family and his wife. Siphiwe and Kumo had met and fallen in love in their first year in university. Kumo, being a girl born and bred in Soweto in Johannesburg of South Africa, where people of all cultures live, she could speak fluent Zulu, but not in the rural KwaZulu dialect. Her Zulu had a Setswana accent to it, and that irritated Siphiwe's aunt. His aunt and his 2 sisters had issues with Siphiwe having married a girl who is not Zulu and raised in a rural area. They also had issues with the fact that she never wanted to take part in some of their cultural rituals or events, saying it was against her godly beliefs. The couple's relocation was to maintain peace and save family ties. As the sun rises, Siphiwe prepares for his day as a teacher in a nearby school, donning his crisp white shirt and navy trousers. Kumo, with Buhle still fast asleep, knows the time has come for her to step into the workplace as well. She is determined to contribute to their household, especially since Siphiwe can only provide so much. When she receives a call about a potential job interview, she feels a mix of excitement and anxiety. The couple has only one car, so they devise a plan. Kumo will drop Siphiwe off at school before preparing for her interview, then come back and pick up Buhle and go drop her off at her mother's house, who is Kumo's grandmother. "You'll do great, Kumo," Siphiwe reassures her, squeezing her hand as they drive. However, Fate plays a cruel trick on them. Just 5 minutes into their journey, they find themselves ensnared in a traffic jam which has never happened before in that area. Siphiwe turns on the radio in search of information about why there is a traffic jam of so many cars. All intersections are clogged and there is no sign of traffic controllers in sight. He overhears two pedestrians walking by talking about the freeway that leads out of their township to other townships, other business areas, and the CBD has been closed off, hence this chock-a-block traffic. Frustration builds as time slips away. At home, the young daughter sleeps peacefully, blissfully unaware of the chaos unfolding outside. Kumo starts to worry and wonder what she senses her mother's absence due to the stillness in the house, and then wakes up. There's no way to move forward or back. Meanwhile, in the shadows of the township, three young men, Themba, Aziz, and Bafu, have made their way to Siphiwe and Kumo's home. Each carries the weight of their own struggles. Themba, who is stocky with an air of uncertainty, Aziz, lean and quick-witted, and Bafu, tall and athletic, masking a kind of heart beneath a hardened exterior. They have always scouted the area every morning, and on that fateful day, they saw the couple drive out together, and so the three seized the opportunity to go to Themba's house. They peer through the window, and though they initially seek small valuables, it becomes evident the house is sparsely finished. "Let's take the TV," Aziz suggests, eyeing the modest flat screen in the corner of the room. "It's worth something." They manage to break the door without noise and manage to enter the house. They decide to search for more things around the house, but as they begin to execute their plan, they notice something that catches their breath. A sleeping toddler. Buhle, unaware of the urgency of the moment, lies blissfully in her bed, her little fists tucked beneath her chin. No, we can't take the child," insists Themba, his voice shaky. Let's just take the TV and leave. Our business is goods, not children." "Think about it," suggests Aziz. "A child could be worth more. We can sell her on the dark web. There are people always looking for kids." Aziz grins, reveling in the thought. "Or we could sell her to a witch doctor. Instant cash. We don't know much about the internet. Plus, internet needs data. Data needs time. And being on the internet, it also needs time. We might be caught while sitting in an internet cafe." Themba stands adamantly against it. This isn't right. I'm not a monster." But in that instant, Themba concocts a lie. I have a relative who's been begging for a child to raise as her own. She promised a good payment if I find one." As the discussion heats up, Buffett disconnects and takes the TV while Aziz grabs Buhle. The back and forth among them creates a tempest of moral conflict, with every passing moment intensifying the chaotic nature of the crime is building up. Siphiwe and Kumo sit anxiously in traffic, the minutes ticking away like an eternity. A trip that usually takes 10 minutes to the school and 10 minutes back home has now cost them 30 minutes, moving at a snail pace in traffic. Kuma's heart races for her upcoming interview, yet she feels an unexpected stirring of dread. She glances at her phone anxiously hoping the jam will clear so she can hurry home to check on her daughter. Siphiwe notices her turmoil and reaches out. "You are going to be amazing, just focus on that." But worry gnaws at her, a sense that something isn't right. For a moment she thinks of her daughter, her cry echoing in their home on realizing her mom has left her by herself. Suddenly, their phones buzz at the same time. A text from a neighbor alerting them about suspicious activity near the home. Panic sets in. "Something is wrong, Siphiwe. I feel it." Kumo breathes, turning the engine off. "Let's go home," she insists, twisting to check the rear view. "Let's go home," she insists, twisting to check the rear view mirror. Kuma indicates to other cars her intentions to make a U-turn, and they allow her. They begin to maneuver their way back to their house, but the anxiety weighs heavy in the air, filling their hearts with dread. Meanwhile, the three burglars load the TV into their vehicle, a modest-looking but old model car that struggles to find its place amidst the modern structures of the affluent township. As they prepare to drive away, Themba hesitates, guilt gnawing at him. We can't do this. What if we get caught?" he says softly. "Shut up," Buffer snaps, growing impatient. "We've come this far. We'll be fine. They'll never know." As their car pulls away, Bushra stares, her whimper escaping her lips. She blinks awake, confused and afraid, as she has never been separated from her mom, and she has never seen these men. But they are already gone, and her reality is about to shift in unimaginable ways. When Siphiwe and Kumo finally arrive home, the knot in Kumo's stomach tightens further. Their front is ajar, the sense of violation swallowing them in disbelief. "Buhle!" Kumo calls out, her voice cracking. "Buhle!" The echo of her frantic screams reverberates through the empty home. Calling to their daughter becomes a haunting melody of despair. "Buhle!" Siphiwe rushes inside, his heart pounding as he scans every corner. "Buhle!" But only silence greets him. The couple is about to spiral into unspeakable agony as they realize the horrific truth: they have been robbed, and their child is gone. As the search begins, the couple struggles to piece together the events of the morning, grappling with feelings of guilt and fear. The township, once a place of hope and new beginnings, now feels like a cage they cannot escape. They soon find themselves engulfed in gossip, a community shaken by the tragedy of a family torn apart. Kumo blames herself, wondering if she should have never taken the job interview. If I only had stayed home. "No," Siphiwe assures her, taking her trembling hands in his. "This is not your fault. We'll find her. I promise. Maybe she woke up and found the door open. Maybe she walked out to go look for you. She's probably at the swings at the park, as that is where you always take her. Some of the neighbors are walking there to go check her for us." In the shadows of the township, Themba wrestles with his conscience, the weight of their decision crushing him. He feels the pull of his family and the life he could have chosen, constantly torn between loyalty to his friends and the innocence of a child. His mind races with the choices they've made. The little girl whose laughter he can still hear in his dreams. His mind races with the choices they have made. As Kumo and Siphiwe rally their community, They face a weaving of traditional beliefs and modern anxieties. The search for Buhle becomes more than just about finding their daughter. It becomes a clash between cultural expectations, societal pressures, and the pursuit of hope amidst despair. They enlist the help of local leaders, setting in motion a series of community efforts intertwined with customs that reflect the strength of their heritage. Tembi, an elder in the township known for her wisdom and guidance, arrives to counsel the couple. She wears a beautiful traditional dress adorned with intricate beadwork and carries a small bundle of herbs to bless the home. Kumo is conflicted when she sees the herbs. "We must hold on to our culture, our strength," she advises. "We will do everything to bring your child back." "And how do you wish to proceed, my children?" Caught between tradition and their contemporary reality, Sipewe and Kumo must find a way to incorporate their beliefs into their search, igniting an exploration of identity that reverberates through their lives. Kumo, a woman of prayer, feels helpless as she sees her husband's faith in Mama Tembi's herbs. She says a prayer in her heart. As the hours pass, the sun starting to get hot, the couple stands ready to face the unknown. But deep within, beneath the surface of their unity, betrayal seeps through. Rumors begin to surface about Temba's allegiance to his friends. Will he act upon his guilt, or will the allure of easy money haunt him? As Sipewe and Kumo begin to gather strength from their community, they must also navigate the tangled web of loyalty and deception among the people they trust. Kumo sat on the edge of their bed, her heart heavy and her thoughts consumed by fear. The sun poured golden rays through the window, but it failed to warm her troubled soul. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath, attempting to calm the storm raging within her. As a woman of faith, Kumo clung to her prayers. "Lord, please," she whispered fervently, "intervene in this situation. Your word says the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runs to it and are safe and set on high, far above evil. I know this is not your plan for us. Please forgive me for giving into my husband's traditional pressures and not being fully committed to you. Lord, please bring Busha back to us. She is just a child and the only child, a gift you gave us. Please forgive me for putting finances above our daughter and leaving her home alone. Lord, I trust in your power." The words felt like a lifeline, but doubt clawed at her heart. She imagined her precious daughter, alone and frightened, possibly waking up hungry and crying for her mother. Just the thought sent shivers down her spine. The image of Bushe, small and vulnerable, without her breakfast or even her cup of milk. The way her laughter would light up a room now felt like a distant memory, eclipsed by the terror of the unknown. Kumo pictured Bushe's eyes searching the room, calling for her, and it twisted the knife deeper. "God, please protect my baby," she continued, her voice trembling. "Please don't let Spiwe contact a traditional helper. Please, Lord, may he have faith in you. I know he feels lost, but Lord, I believe in you, and I ask, let these prayers that I pray affect his decisions to trust in you. I believe we can find her through prayer and faith alone." She could feel the battle within her, a clash between Spiwe's cultural beliefs and her unwavering faith. Meanwhile, in the chaotic atmosphere of the small garage in a neighboring township, Temba, Aziz, and Bafo had arrived with their stolen goods. The garage, slightly run down but filled with memories of Bafo's grandmother, served as both a shelter and a hideout for the trio. The smell of dust and oil lingered in the air as they unloaded the flat-screen TV and a few other items before realizing the weight of their actions settled heavily on Temba's conscience. "Guys, we need to be careful," Temba said, his voice low and tense. "We can't just ignore the fact that we took someone's child. Goods are replaceable. But this is a child. This is someone's blood. How will they replace their lost child?" Aziz rolled his eyes, irritation flooding his features. "What are you talking about, Temba? The kid is fine. She's just a little girl. If her parents cared for her, they would not have left her for us to take her." "No, she's not fine," Temba shot back, desperation creeping into his tone. "She's probably hungry. She was still sleeping when we took her. Maybe her mother just went to go buy bread, something to make her daughter food. We've done something wrong. We've done something terrible." Bafo, who had remained silent until now, shifted uncomfortably. "What do you suggest? We can't just take her back. It'll lead us to trouble, and we could get caught. The kid will attract attention if she's hungry, because she will start wailing, as that's what children do when they are hungry, especially if we keep her here. Someone might hear her," Temba argued, the concern evident in his voice. "I can take her to my place and make her some porridge. At least then she won't panic and cry, and people will just assume that she's my girlfriend's niece or something." Aziz raised an eyebrow, skepticism pouring over his features. "And what will you tell your girlfriend, Temba? She's not going to just believe that you have a child with you. Whose child is it? What will you say?" "Well, she's gone to work," Temba insisted with confidence. "And no one else is home. Just let me handle it. I can take her back when the heat dies down. But we need to make sure she's okay first. She's hungry. Do you understand that?" Bafo exchanged glances with Aziz, processing Temba's plea. "All right." Aziz relented slowly. "But it's risky. We can't have any slip-ups." With a newfound sense of urgency, Temba headed toward the back of the garage where they had put Buhle to sleep. He opened the door to reveal the little girl, still sleeping peacefully on a mattress covered with an old blanket. Unaware of the turmoil brewing around her, his heart twisted at the sight. This innocent child, taken from her home, her safety now in the hands of men entangled in their own misguided choices. Gently, Temba knelt beside her, deciding how to approach the situation without further trauma. He reached out and softly shook her awake, her big eyes fluttering open, confusion clouding her sweet face. "Hello there, little one," he said softly, trying to soothe her with his voice. "What's your name?" "Buhle," she murmured, rubbing her eyes. "Where's my mommy? I want my mommy. I wanna go home." At that moment, Temba's heart sank deeper. She was just a child, and all she wanted was a mother. "You are going to be fine," he assured her, forcing a smile. "We're going to get you some food, then you eat, because you must be hungry. After eating, we'll go find your mommy." As he gathered her up in his arms, Buhle clung to him, instinctively seeking comfort. "Please, can I have some milk?" she asked, her voice small and trembling. "Okay," said Temba. You will have some milk as well, okay? Bushle nodded. As he carried her out of the garage, he felt a surge of compassion. They would find something for her, but for the first time, he began to recognize the gravity of their decisions. He knew he would have to act quickly without drawing attention, but also wrestled with the hope of returning Bushle to her family intact. The streets were bustling with life as Themba stepped outside, holding Bushle close. He had to maintain a calm demeanor, forcing back the guilt and fear. As they walked, he decided to go to the small convenience store at the corner and decided it would be the best place to buy mealie meal for porridge and milk. He ever wondered about the slippery slope they were on, but he kept pressing forward. "Let's go get you some food, little one," he said, glancing down at the child in his arms. "Just a quick stop, okay?" Bushle nodded, but almost immediately, doubts clawed at him. What if someone recognized him? What if someone noticed a strange man with a child? What if it drew attention to himself? Meanwhile, back in their home, Kumo sat in the living room, her heart racing as she prayed. The clock ticked ominously, each second increasing her anxiety. "Lord, give me the strength and wisdom to find Bushle," she murmured, lifting her hands in supplication. Just then, Siphiwe returned from calling neighbors for any sign of their daughter. He looked at Kumo, the strain evident on his face. "We need to do something, Kumo. I have a friend who knows a traditional healer. They could help us." "No!" Kumo exclaimed, panic flooding her. "If we go to a healer, it could ruin everything. We must rely on faith, Siphiwe. We must trust in God alone. Otherwise, we will open a door for demonic spirits to take control, and we would not be able to do anything when that happens." "But what if we don't have time?" Siphiwe countered, frustration bubbling beneath the surface. "We have to find her in any way we can. I won't lose my family to this madness." Kumo's heart shattered at his words. She understood the cultural weight behind Siphiwe's beliefs and feared that their conflicting views would fracture their already weakened foundation. "We cannot allow desperation to guide our decisions," she said softly, her voice cracking. "You've always known my stance and commitment to God. I have many times suppressed my beliefs for your cultural beliefs since we got married. When all the years we dated, you followed my faith, prayed with me, and believed with me. Now is the time for us to put our faith in God." Siphiwe's mind raced as he realized how serious his wife was and remembered those days when he prayed and believed with her and things always worked out. "Okay, Kumo, let's put our trust in God. Although I know a traditional healer would be able to show us who took Bushle." As they stood there grappling with the reality of their situation, both parents were unaware that their daughter was just a stone's throw away, nestled in the arms of a man who was struggling with his choices. The swelling chaos around them would only deepen, intertwining their fates in ways they could never have anticipated. As Themba entered the convenience store, he made a hurried decision, feigning calm, while inside his mind chaos reigned. A wave of guilt washed over him as he approached the counter to buy milk and mealie meal. Would he face consequences for this? Or would he find redemption by returning Bushle to her family? The cashier glanced up and raised an eyebrow, sensing something off about the way he held the child. Every second stretched as he fumbled with his money, and he could feel the weight of the world pressing down on him. Time stood still, and the implications of their actions loomed heavily in the air, intertwining the destinies of the Mthembu family and the three young men who had crossed a line that could never be uncrossed. But as fate would have it, paths would collide, and choices would lead them all closer to an inevitable confrontation. The struggle was far from over. It had only just begun. Hey there, Untold Tales lovers. Thank you for tuning in and watching the first part of this gripping story until the end. I appreciate you for your interest and dedication. It means a great deal to me as it inspires me to share more untold tales. We saw in the story how a family that was happy was shaken by the abduction of their only child. How a community that stands together can solve community ills. Please share your comments below on what you learned from this story. Please like and share my story and subscribe if you haven't done so. I love you and appreciate you. Thank you and see you in the next part of this story. Bye bye.